Hey guys, it's Alexandra. Today I'm going to be talking with Gage, who is actually a gay man who voted for Donald Trump, which is not a voice that you hear every day. He is going to be, as somebody who voted for Trump, giving his kind of 2 cents on everything that's been going down in our nation's capital and sort of unveiling some misconceptions about conservative viewpoints. I hope that you will stay tuned to hear his perspective, maybe reconsider some things that you didn't think about before, and I hope that you will stay tuned and subscribe for more videos. All right, thanks much.
Yeah, bitch, your daddy's so proud. How's little girl turned out?
Good morning, Nathan. I think we need to clear up a few things. The first I want to say is I'm a gay man in America. Second I want to say is that I have my nails painted. Third, I want to say that I actually voted for Donald Trump. Okay, with that being said, I want to talk about a few things that hold a little bit more substance other than the fact that you referred to me as a girl and that I voted for Joe Biden because I'm a guy with my nails painted. See, if we're going to talk politics, we need to talk about politics and something that matters, like taxes, trade, immigration, Planned Parenthood, religious freedom, gun control, tariffs, trades, those kinds of things that actually matter in politics, not my nails. And so before you come at anybody, any man actually, with their nails painted and assume that they are in the LGBTQ plus community, you need to realize that that is a bigoted opinion, that's judgmental, and a preconceived idea of who I am and I'm not.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. So, tell me a little bit about, I know you talked with me a little bit about how you don't identify yourself as a Republican, but you did vote for Trump. And I just want to know why. I want to know kind of your views on what's going on today in our political system and kind of, where you think you stand in who you support and why, or what you support and why.
Well, when it comes to President Trump and the President-elect Joe Biden, to me, I'm not a Republican. I am more Democrat than anything, usually. But they both had issues and stances on certain things that I could not get on with. And so with President Trump, the things that I did not agree with, because there's many of them, didn't affect me as much when it came to talking about them or actually interacting with the issues in my real life.
Mm-hmm.
That Joe Biden, the things that I didn't agree with what he stood for as well.
Right.
So I just kind of picked what was going to affect my life more.
So what are some of those things for you?
Well, I am a cosmetology student, so I will eventually own my own business and hopefully make a good amount of money and be an entrepreneur. And so with Joe Biden's tax stance, I couldn't get with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of people say that Donald Trump is not inclusive of all people. However, I would rather be successful and be able to be successful than be included by one person.
And what do you think about, do you see personally a difference between people who are conservative and people who are pro-Trump?
Yes, I do. And since I live in rural Alabama, I come into contact with a lot of Trump supporters and or conservatives. And I know a lot of conservative people that voted blue.
Mm-hmm.
I think the mass majority of Trump supporters are normal people, like they're not chaotic and crazy, but you do have those extreme Trump supporters that are like Trump or die. I was on my way home today and I saw on the back of a Crosser minivan, God, guns, and Trump, and I was like, what is happening? Why is he in everything? Why is Donald Trump the main focus?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't vote for Donald Trump because of who he was. I voted for Donald Trump because there's things that he supported that would benefit my life.
Mm-hmm.
It was not because I didn't want a Democrat in office. And so I think that the stance of politics really was never my issue, is that, or for Donald Trump, I really didn't vote for Donald Trump because I liked him.
Mm-hmm.
But Trump supporters, they can get crazy just as well as anybody else.
And then on the opposite side, like, I know there's a lot of people who think that liberals can come across really strong as well. How do you think that is in this day and age? Do you think there's just as much sort of a volatile attitude on both sides?
The difference to me between a liberal and like the hard left and the hard right. The hard left is going to be inclusive of all people besides the people that are not inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
The hard right is going to protect what they believe in, and that might exclude some people, but it protects what they believe in. So, I mean, both sides are the exact same on different issues. The conservatives are not going to want me to be married, and the liberals are going to not like the people that don't want me to be married. There's no winning in either side.
Right. So as a gay man, do you ever get, I'm sure you get a lot of people that are really surprised that you voted for Trump. So how do you react when people, I would assume that some people from the LGBTQ community might feel like they don't understand how you could do that.
Right. I actually had one of my really good friends. I did not announce who I voted for up until the video that went viral on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really knew where I stood, but a few of my close friends, and my close friend in Nashville, he said that he doesn't understand how I could change and become so evil because I'd voted for Donald Trump. And then on the other side of the conservative Republican Party, they assumed that I voted for Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a get together at my family's house, and my cousin started like grilling me about how bad Joe Biden was. And at that time, I had not ever said I was going to vote. I had never said who I stood for. It was just kind of assumed because I was a gay man and appeared to be very liberal.
Mm-hmm. So does that ever happen to you a lot? Do you think people make false assumptions about your political views just based on what you look like and your attitude and the fact that you're gay?
I'm sure they do, because they're like, how could a boy that has his nails painted and wears tight jeans and supports gay rights and is pro-choice be like vote for Donald Trump? Like, they think that there's a big stigma that you can't be gay and Republican or conservative.
Mm.
And however, I'm not a Republican, but I am a more conservative person because I happen to believe in God. And I'm very strong in my faith, and that's what plays a role in certain choices that I've made politically.
Right. When you came out and made that video about voting for Trump, what were some of the reactions you got from that?
Most of my reactions on TikTok are funny to me because they're all like, I'm a Republican, I'm a Trump supporter, thank you. It was I've gotten a lot of really good things being like thank yous and amens and people clapping. But other than that, like, there is a lot of the LGBT community coming through saying that how could you vote for the man? How is this true? He does the same thing that she's doing. And truthfully, that is so true. He does. He is very condescending and vindictive with his words towards the Biden-Harris administration. And to me, if I would have seen the same video of him doing that, I would have had the same reaction, because I believe everybody in a level of office or leadership needs to hold themselves to a standard to respect that office or respect the party that is holding the office.
Mm-hmm. And what are some other things sort of that you feel like made you vote for Trump? Like, what are some other factors in your personal life that you think some other people that voted for Trump might have voted for him because of, those reasons? Some things that you think he stands for, some things that he backed that you think were more beneficial than Biden-Harris in your case?
So The main reason that I did not vote for Joe Biden was his the way he wanted to handle taxes and raise taxes in America. And so when I look at Donald Trump, yes, he did spring a tax increase that we would see in our taxes. However, Donald Trump to me he's a business owner, so he's done so much for our community and world. He has put African American jobs, Asian American jobs, Mexican American jobs, women jobs in the United States higher than ever before. He has actually been inclusive of the LGBT community more so than in protecting them. I believe that since he identified Israel like as the head of state, that was a really big thing for me because that is something that ties into my faith. So I think that there's the small things, like he has been tried to be inclusive and honest of everybody, regardless of whether he comes out fiery or however. He has been honest and always kind of blunt about what he says, regardless of whether everybody agrees or not. Right. And for me, I'm more of a person that goes to what's comfortable, and I've known that he's in the office, and I've seen our economy grow, and I've seen jobs be brought to America. I've seen gas prices drop. I've seen those things from his administration, and with the Biden administration, I just don't believe that raising taxes would be good. I do not believe that. I just can't get behind that. The taxes is what gets me.
Right. So when people come at you, if they have, or what you might see in the media of people saying, how could you support him? He's racist, or he's this and he's that. How can you support that narrative? What is your reaction to that type of attitude of anybody who says, he has created a rhetoric of suppression. Why would you vote for him? How do you, and I don't want to say change that person's mind, but how do you explain your point of view to a person like that who might have that attitude?
Well, when it comes to the fact of it all, in my research I've gathered, Kamala Harris as the senator has, and as a prosecutor, has put more African American people in prison than any other senator for petty charges. And she did not even identify herself as a Black woman, as she does, until this year. She identified as Indian. And so for me, when it comes to Donald Trump saying he's caused a level of suppression, that's just a division tactic caused by the mainstream media, if you want me to be honest. That's how I feel. I feel like the media is blowing things out of proportion. The media is saying that he has divided America when he hasn't. It's the United States people that are doing it themselves. I feel like we don't like him because we were so used to one thing and we got the polar opposite. And so now that he is creating, like stirring the pot a little bit to get things moving and rolling, the media has turned things around to seem as if they're something that they're not. And I think we as people are causing that level of division, because I came in just with my friend. He said, I did not vote for Trump, so then we couldn't be friends. Because he did not vote for Trump, and if I did, then we're divided and we couldn't see eye to eye. And I'm not racist, and I'm not against the LGBT, of course. So I really don't understand that rhetoric, because I don't get it. Like, I'm not racist, and I'm inclusive of all people in my community and outside of my community. I think that it just happens to be personal conviction, and if we can't use personal conviction to choose who we want the president to be, we're going to use something that will divide us on it.
Right. So do you think that people that have different political views can still be friends?
I do. I believe, I have, even my friends that voted for Donald Trump, I have different political views than. What does politics have to do with friendship? It's something you should never discuss.
It's true. And what do you think about, as somebody who voted for Trump but might not, I think from my point of view, there's people that voted for Trump that are diehard Donald Trump is God, like they are pro-Trump. They really love Trump. And then there's people that voted for Trump for whatever reasons that they felt were important to them, but they might align themselves with Republican or conservative views, but might not necessarily love him as a person. So what do you think, kind of as these events unfold at the Capitol and these, these Trump supporters are, breaking in and stealing things and all of that crazy stuff that's been happening, how do you perceive that situation?
I think it is sad, for one. It's very sad that this is how we are conducting ourselves as Americans to the world. This is what I've grown up seeing in other countries, never my own. I've never seen this in my country, and I think it's crazy. I also feel as if it's his fault that he should have never rallied the people in front of the Senate while they were in session. I think that was a bad idea. I think it was immature and kind of thoughtless. He didn't put much effort into thinking that. He just said, maybe this will help. And he probably did it innocently, thinking people would be civil and just protest and they would see that the American people were speaking. However, just like my grandma always said, a few bad apples will ruin the whole tree. So I think that it started in good faith, and then as it progressed and got violent and scary and put people's lives in danger, that it would turn into a sad event, and that it could have been a different outcome if he wouldn't have rallied the people in front of the Senate while they were in session. Because if they knew that people weren't in there, I think that it would have been a whole different scenario.
Possible, yeah. I think, what do you think more people should understand about people with a conservative viewpoint? Because I think there's a lot of people who would find out through your TikTok or whoever you personally told who you voted for, and they would think you're racist, and they would think you're homophobic, and they would think that, there's people that would be really rude about it and say you're a terrible person and you are the reason that all of this rioting has happened. There are people that say if you voted for Trump, it's your fault. And what do you hope that people would understand more about anyone who's conservative in their views?
I think that everything comes down to our morals. And when it comes to those things that are so sacred to ourself, I know many people that are conservative for the simple fact that they do not believe in abortion, and they do not believe in gay marriage, and they don't believe that trans equality. There's things that they can't morally agree with because of their faith. Mm-hmm. And then there's people that are against those things because of how they were raised. And so I know personally from the area that I'm in that if you're a Republican, it's because you believe in God, and it's because you can't get behind those things that don't align with the Bible. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's okay, because that's just your beliefs, and that's your moral standard. But when it comes to the Democrats, when it comes to the Democratic Party, should I say, it's the same thing for them. Their morals and their inner convictions is what leads them to be a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that regardless if people say that I'm racist or hate myself because I'm gay or know that Donald Trump doesn't like me because he hates gay people, well, honey, I like myself enough that he doesn't have to like me. It's about my moral conviction, and truthfully, I can't get behind something that goes against that.
And what do you think are some steps that we could take, especially young people, I feel like, to be able to talk about politics without yelling at each other and calling each other names and, you know, being so polarized? How do you think we could have better conversations about, you know, what's going on in our government?
Well, I think that we should stop, for one, having preconceived ideas of, well, you're this or you're that because you voted this or you voted that. We could be more understanding, and if we're going to talk about politics, I think we should be more passive. And really the main key to talking politics is not to try to change someone else's mind.
Right.
Like, this is how I feel, and that's okay. And if you feel different, that's okay. But this is why I did it, if you must know.
Right. And what are some of your hopes for, you know, the future of our government? What do you think are some ways that we could get stronger, and some ways that what are some things that you think our new leadership could do that would improve the lives of Americans?
This is a crazy idea, but really to include unity. If we're going to make, one big thing for me is that transgender people are not able to serve in our United States military. And to me, that is very inclusive. It's uninclusive. And so I think, and just, I'm going to use that as like a piggyback, that if they're not able to serve in the military, that needs to change, because everybody needs to be equal. This is freedom for all in America. So just in scenarios like that, that we're not all able to do what everyone else is because of something, whether it be our sex, our nationality, our religion, our sexual orientation, those things should not limit us in what we're able to do in America. And I think that the Biden-Harris administration should really consider those things, making the equal playing ground for everyone.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing. Anything that you would advise people like yourself to how they could handle political conversations if they're ever attacked or questioned about their politics or their political views? How do you think they could handle that type of thing?
Well, if it's a gay man, I'm telling you to put him sunglasses on and keep on walking, because he doesn't have to deal with it. And if it's a lesbian or a transgender person, well, do the same thing, because you just don't have to deal with people's crap. My nails are still painted and I'm still fabulous, so I'm just going to keep doing what I do.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's so great to hear from, you know, somebody who's kind of, I just don't feel like your side is really talked about a lot. I at least personally, day to day, hear so many extremes from either end that it's hard to find people who speak up. Usually the people that are super vocal are really extreme one way or the other. So I appreciate you sharing, and I hope that people will learn from you and use kind of your story and your views to maybe question preconceived notions they might have had about other people. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.